Hi, this is Cynthia Horner from Right On Magazine, and I'm so excited. We are here today with a world champion boxer. Troy Amos Ross is someone who is from Canada, and he's going to talk to us about his illustrious journey as a boxer, as well as a couple of his newer business ventures. So, welcome, Troy.
Hi, Cynthia. How you doing? Happy to
I'm
be
fine.
here. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah. Oh, you're very welcome. So, the first question I have for you is what has your journey been like? Because we have a lot of younger fans and readers, and we know that nothing happens overnight. But if you could just tell us a few of the steps that you went through as a younger person to what ended up evolving into the person that you are today.
Well, Cynthia, it has never been an easy road. Um, my father, who was an ex-Olympian, represented Guyana in 1968 for Guyana, and what happened was that he and my mom obviously brought us over to Canada in 1982, and my brothers and sisters, we came home from school, and my father had the basement set up like a boxing gym. So that's where my journey of becoming a boxer started. Was in that basement of my Toronto home in 1982, where
Wow.
my father was just teaching us how physical activity, keeping helping us be safe in school around, just in case something was to happen. But that's what happened, was that that's where my journey started, was from that Toronto home in the basement.
Wow, that is so amazing. And it's great that he gave you that kind of platform so that you could learn. Now, were you nervous at first about boxing or did you take to it instantly?
I could say, okay, you know what? I have a story I always tell, right? But was I nervous? No, not at that time, because I was only 7 years old when I started, and going around to all the boxing gyms around Toronto, learning the art, learning the craft of boxing, and 4 years later, moving into my house in Brampton, Ontario. My first fight, uh, I had the first fight, but the walk to the ring, if you don't have that confidence, that ability to walk to the ring, it could strip you of everything that you've had in your head of what it's like to go out in your first fight. So me being at 10 years old, walking to the ring, all types of nerves, all types of things was going through my head, and got into the ring, touched my opponent's gloves, and the referee said box. I did not know that I was going to get so nervous. I didn't move. So the only thing that happened was the opponent came to me instead of me going to my opponent. And he threw off about a million punches because we only had 1 minute in the fight. So 1 minute per round. And I didn't move out of that corner. They threw the towel in, Cynthia. And that was the end of my fight. My fight maybe lasted. I always want to say it lasted at least the 1 minute, but it probably lasted about 30 to 25 seconds before they threw the towel in and stopped my fight, my first
Oh
fight.
my God.
So when you say nervous, that's where I come back to it, because the nerves, yes, the nerves got the best of me on my first fight. But if it wasn't for the encouragement of the not my father, because I already knew he was good. So it wasn't the encouragement from him or encouragement from my brother, because he's been winning his fights. It was the encouragement from the guys that actually I went to the gym and they said, "Oh, Troy, don't worry about it. I lost my first fight. I lost my first fight. You're a good boxer. You could always come back from this. Just keep on doing what you're doing." And that's what resonated with me, and that's what helped me to further my career in boxing.
Wow, that is such a great story. And it also goes to show never give up.
Absolutely not, because at 10 years old, just starting out in boxing in my first fight, losing in 30 seconds, I could have switched to another sport, but I did try other sports. I tried basketball, too short. Tried soccer, too much running. So boxing was the one that I was actually good at, and I was actually bringing home medals and traveling the world at the same time. So that was the thing that stuck to me because I knew I was good at it, and I was traveling around the world, representing my country.
Now, when you first started winning and traveling the world, what did it feel like? Because you were from Canada and you were then getting to go visit places. Name some of the places that you got to go to.
I went to Germany, Russia, Budapest, um, Singapore, Malaysia, um, where is it? Australia a few times. I've been around. I could say with my boxing career because I would represent my. I went to two Olympics. I was able to travel around the world at least a few times.
Now that is totally, totally incredible. And especially since a lot of the places that you were going to, they didn't have a lot of African American athletes. So what was that experience like when you were dealing with people from other cultures and other skin tone complexions and all of that? Um, were you nervous about that, or was the confidence that you eventually developed as a boxer, did that segue over into your personal life in terms of your relationship with people?
You know what? As an athlete, we're we're perceived different because I think it's more when you are traveling the world and you're traveling the world looking for something, looking for a job, looking for to buy a house or to make money. But as an athlete, they're seeing you as a celebrity. So
Mhm.
they want to get to know you. They want your autograph. So we see a different picture of the country itself. And for me, it's been good. I remember going to Russia and Russia when we got because it was early in the 1993 time that I went to Russia, all the way in Macedon, and I had young kids form a circle around me because they'd never seen a black person before, pointing, looking. And they might have seen a black person, but they saw a black person on TV, and they were just more in awe. And I remember going to Moscow and people taking pictures of me, and I didn't know what it was so what it was all about. But then when I realized it is because there wasn't many black people around for them to see, and it was a little bit different, but it was at no time where they like mean to me or anything like that.
Mhm.
There were more. It was more, or it was more like a surprise to them to
Oh,
see
okay.
someone of my color, African descent.
Now, as a boxer, have you ever met many of people that are in that same profession that you admired a lot? Because I know
Oh,
I got to meet Muhammad Ali before, and he kissed me on the cheek, and I
oh
was so
wow.
angry that we didn't have social media at the time because I would have had a copy of either the video or the photo, and I don't have either. But I did get to meet him.
Yes. Oh wow. And that's a beautiful memory. I did get it. Okay. I had a chance to meet Muhammad Ali. I met Muhammad Ali twice. I went to the 96 Olympics and he came to the village. He actually lit the torch in 96 in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia, yes.
Mm.
He lit the torch and he came to the village and I did not want to. I wanted to take a picture, but I was very nervous to take the picture because I noticed that he was shaking a lot and he was pretty much mobbed. The guy with his stature was pretty much mobbed, and I was more like, you know what? I'm not going to take the picture because I didn't think it was a right time for me to take a picture of
Right,
him. And so I never saw Muhammad Ali until 4 years later. And when you say sometimes you got to seize the opportunity, and I
right.
did not seize that opportunity because I was more concerned about him than I was concerned about taking a picture. And then I met Muhammad Ali again in 2000 Sydney, Australia, where we had the Olympics, and he wasn't shaking as much, and myself and my good friend that was on the team, Mark Simmons. We got a picture with him sitting down.
Hmm.
So one of my heroes, definitely Muhammad Ali, my father. Um, I got had chance. I never had a chance to meet Sugar Ray Leonard yet. Um, I got a chance to meet Mike Tyson.
Oh.
Yes, got a chance to meet Mike Tyson. I met quite a bit of the boxing because on the in on the inside looking out, sorry, on the outside looking in, they think it's a big world, but it's not such a big world as you would think.
Hmm.
Because but yeah, I did get a chance to meet a lot of my heroes as boxers, like Roy
Okay.
Jones. I wanted to fight Roy Jones at one time because he was in the same weight class as me, and that was what I was looking up to, but never happened.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Now, you have some new business ventures, and let's talk about them a little bit. You have a wine company, and you have such an interesting name for the wine company. So I'm going to let you be the one to tell what that is.
Okay. The wine itself. Now, I got inducted into the Canadian Boxing Hall of Fame, and after getting inducted, I was invited to a wine lunch.
Hmm.
So, and my team, who I work with, and Karen, had said to me, Troy, I believe that you can do the exact same thing, especially being a boxer and probably one of the first boxers to launch a wine. So at first I said, you know what, I was a little bit reluctant at the thought of coming out with a wine because I'm thinking I'm uh, not don't have as many followers as some of the other athletes. So, but when I thought about it, I said, you know what, let's give it a try. But and two, I was not the biggest wine drinker at that time either. So um, Karen, who put a proposal together with the wine company that was at that launch, we went down there. We met with the owner. The owner's name was Charlie. He saw me sampling different wines. He saw my eyes all glossy after sampling some of the wines, and he saw the one that I liked. He noticed the one that I liked really much, and that was the rosé. Um, and because as a boxer, I'm always blending things together. You know, you trying to put a fight combination together. You trying to blend both worlds. So I said instead of me going with a red or going with a white, I decided to go with a rosé because that puts everything together, put all the mixes together, and that's the reason why I came out. Now it's called Gloves Off, and it's a rosé, and it's Troy Amos Ross. Yes, so I was very proud to promote it, and I love the taste of it. At the end of the day, I do love the taste of my wine. It's a rosé, and it's not too sweet, and it's not too dry. It's right there in the middle.
Okay. Now that you've taken the gloves off about this venture, is there anything else that you want to tell us for Right On Digital before we close?
What else is pretty much you know what, as I the young fighters out there, you always have to dream big, and never let anybody falter those dreams. You got to dream big and look toward the future. No, because things are always going to happen, obstacles are always going to come in your way. But as long as you keep that dream alive, it's all about boxing and looking forward to the next stage. But you got to dream big and train hard. You got to train when your opponent's sleeping at the end of the day, because once you get in that ring, you go up and your coach goes down the stairs. You're going into a world where you got to fight and defend yourself. The only thing that the coach can do is give you the information of how to throw punches and what kind of combinations to use if you don't see them for yourself already. So dream big.
Okay. You are wonderful. Thank you so much for this interview with Right On Digital, and I definitely look forward to connecting with you again. Now, you won't see me in the ring, but
Yeah.
I will be a knockout just visiting with you in a wonderful outfit.
and we'll be sipping the gloves off rosé together. So that
Okay.
would be perfect.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for
Okay.
having me.